my dear Aquarius. This is your love and spirituality reading for the time between February 1st and February 15, 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. So I have put astrological information for the month of February in a video of its own that you can check out if you want to in the Q&A playlist. You can also find it at my webpage www.queenofcupstarot.se. So I used Spellcaster's Tarot by Melanie Marquise and illustrated by Scott Murphy, and I will start shuffling your cards. So when I open your deck here, one card was lost. Okay, it's the Six of Swords and Knight of Swords and Nine of Swords. Oh, my dear Aquarius, this is of course your element, air. Knight of Swords is very hastily moving forward. It's like a person, they know that they are right. They are like entitled, and it's very young energy, so they are entitled just by they think they know better than other people because they have seen the light, kind of, but they don't have enough life experience to really know if they are right. And there's always like different dimensions of truth. What's truth for one person isn't truth for the other. And also this with knowing that you are right or being right is not the most important thing. So that's one thing. And then we have the Nine of Swords. So that is usually how we feel after we have been righteous in some way, or how we made the other person feel when we were righteous, feeling ashamed and feeling that there has been cruelty, and a lot of it's disappointment here, and it's like holding back the passion that you feel or the words you want to say, and here it's love and Eight of Swords. So this card is signaling that if it feels wrong, it's probably wrong. And then you had the Six of Swords being left behind there. So this is when you are growing, when you're accepting more of acceptance than like trying to paint over someone else's view with your own. You're accepting that another person is like this, and this is how they feel, and this is the reality that they live in, and so on and so forth. So acceptance of others also means self-acceptance. When you start to accept how other people are and their viewpoint on the world, you also start to accept yourself and become more laid back and just, yeah, and it's a much more wonderful state of being. So here as she comes, we see that both of these people are one is looking like up to the horizon. She has also her head lifted up, so it's talking about third eye connection and the pineal gland as well. And here we have a little box, and that box is actually also in the moon card. So in my imagination, it has like your inner jewelry, the most inner vulnerable part of yourself. And that has a true treasure, and you can't find that treasure as long as you're just trying to be righteous and perfect and not finding your inner core, like who you really are, and start to expressing that. So we have the sun symbol also all above the hermit's head, showing that he's enlightened. So there's enlightenment to be found in this situation. Also, this person has both like a symbol for enlightenment and sun on their cape here, but also in the sun in the sky. Okay, so there's like a breach between two worlds. One that we need to know everything and be perfect to be loved, and in one that we love ourselves and we can be whomever we are, and we don't have to live up to some expectations anymore. We just need to find out who we are and start to show that beautiful inner jewelry of ourselves. So I call the divine with love and light, and here we have the Fool. So that might be what's in the box. Fool, it's 22 numerology speaking, and 2 + 2 is 4. Emperor. So when you find yourself and you find your inner innocence and you love everything about you, you become very cool and adult, and you don't need to fake it because you're already it. Okay, you don't have to to win over others, to be cool or be the one that's right. You're cool just by, you know, being very much yourself and inviting your soul in your body. So it's making you more adult and more laid back and more not so aggressive or passionate about things that really doesn't matter. So where I called the divine with love and light, and I called the 4 archangels. Here we have the Page of Swords as well, in the 4 corners of the world. And I called the 6 elements: earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Aquarius viewers. What I'm seeing here is a tale from when you were a small child, that you had this knowing about you, this higher knowing, and since you were not adult, no one were taking you seriously, and therefore you became the Knight of Swords, like a person that wants to prove that you know things. But now you have gone full circle with the 21, the World card, and also integrated your shadow with the Lover's card. So, and now you can be that person that you were when you were little, and just say what you are seeing, say what you are feeling, like communicate what you are experiencing around you in the world. And you don't have to be right. You can be mistaken and it's still fine. So, and here we have the 2 of Swords. Some of you might be involved with a Libra, a Gemini, or maybe another Aquarius person. King of Wands and 10 of Cups. Some of you are in love with a fire person as well. So that came. Okay. So, I want a clear view reading for my dear Aquarius viewers. And I want my dear Aquarius to have love in their lives and to find themselves in loving relationships. I also want you to have creative success and to be able to walk on your highest path to your highest destiny. So, my dear Aquarius, what I saw, I felt like giggling a little bit because I saw this. It's like this archangel being is being born in a little baby and no one is taking it seriously. That was what came through for you, Aquarius. So, okay, tuning in for a few seconds. Okay, my dear Aquarius, this is your future here, there, and this is your now. So this is the first part of February 2018, and this is the past, so it might be January going back also to 2017. And we have the 17, the star card. It's actually the 17th today when I'm doing this reading, and we have a new moon and an alignment with the sun, moon, and Venus. And here we see 2 cups here. So I'm feeling that you came down to bring some love and light into this world. But first you need to acknowledge what you are. You're of air, so air is very logical. It's very it's have this above point of view, and we also will have we'll have a lot of things happening like on the sky that's significant for Aquarius, but you need to check in this astrological video I made in the Q&A, so you will know more about that. But this 17, it's important. So I think it's a summing up of what you did on the 2017. You became yourself. Okay, the Page of Swords, you became you as you were when you came. So you're back to square one, but you're better off because you have taken off your domestication and you're now your pure Aquarius self. So without the self-righteousness and needing to be right and needing to paint other people on the face with your knowledge, you're just cool. So it's amazing. You find yourself here. Okay, and here we have the now. So it's 5 of Cups. So you still haven't worked through this with all the disappointment, with not being loved for who you truly were. So just because you have found yourself, it just means that you're back to square one, and you need to do all those things with, you know, integrating in society all over again, but in a better way than you were able to do when you were small. So now everything is like left for you to deal with, but now you can do it as an adult person, and also having your soul superpowers with you. So it's going to be easier this time, but you still need to, as all human beings need to right now, they need to start to love themselves first, and then they need to start to figure out a new way to relate to other people. And so this wound is still here and wants to be healed. You can see also in his cape there, it's the new moon. And Pentacles. So during a specific time, Venus is making this pathway through the sky. So that's where these Pentacles come from as well. And here we have the Page of Cups and feeling left out in the cold, 5 of Coins. So it's back to, it's your attachment to other people, like the attachment theory, I think that's the name, for how babies are connecting with their parents. And I think it's something wrong with your attachment, and you're very disappointed on how you have been treated, or how you have been treated since you came to Earth. So you feel like a little bit alienated or a little bit out in the cold in some way. And the vulnerable parts of you haven't been able to survive that well in this environment. Maybe you needed to be very cool and cold because the environment was not so warm and cozy, so you could open up and show your vulnerability. So this is something you are going to have to deal with now, since you now found yourself. Okay. And this is in the future, so going into the second part of February. Seems like here you will use your old survival skills a little bit. 2 of Swords is how you survive, become like you don't care, almost catatonic, or like with no pulse. I don't care, it doesn't matter. I was never in love in the first place, and we can see your broken heart there. And here we have the Fool. So again, with this, you feel that your own vulnerability, your preciousness, the inside of you, were not really well received. So you're very scared about becoming more authentic and vulnerable and open. So we have the 2 of Wands here. So we see that you're holding yourself back, tying yourself here. So you want, it's like you're holding your horses too, and this broken heart syndrome in the middle. You don't want to be fooled, but without having the spark of the Fool, you will never be happy. You will just be cool, but without a smile on your face or anything to be smiling about. So this is hard work, but someone needs to do it. So you need to be able to be vulnerable, adult, wise, open-hearted, and still be able to deal with your adversaries. So not an easy task, but if someone can make it, it's you. So I'm reliant that you will make it. And here you have the High Priest. So the High Priest is also number 2, connected to the 2 of Swords, 2 of Wands that we saw. And it's the masculine part of this energy, fire and air. So I'm thinking you're feeling very cool and like you have figured it out, and you're on top of the world and your game. You have finally kind of accepted your more autistic part of you, and seeing them as good parts. Because it's how you were when you came. So you embrace this part of yourself, and you embrace your connection with the divine and put it above your connections with people, probably. And it's fine. This is an integration point where you start to reconnect with your your super soul self, we can say. So you remember your past a little bit better, or at least you feel the self-respect that comes from this past. We have the new moon there, or maybe it's the crescent moon. And here we have a 4 of Pentacles. So you have been starting to be much better on taking care of yourself and grounding yourself, and not giving before you try to be good in the way that world wanted you, and it become all distorted, and you were not happy because you were not able to be yourself. Now you're better on protecting yourself and finding like your root, your foundation. So it's making you a little bit like secretive and a little bit like the miser. You're not sharing your love, you're not abundant. For me, when I go into this Aquarius state, I start to listen to like documentaries on the radio, never listens to music anymore. So it's this part where my Aquarius part can thrive. And I think that you are making this room for yourself where you can thrive. So, and here we have death. So death probably means that you sacrifice things around you rather than you're sacrificing yourself. You are becoming more and more stoic, more and more probably a little bit more withdrawn from people, and you're finding like the center of the world inside yourself. So you're not looking for comfortable situation on the outside. If people are not supportive, you just sacrifice them. It's go there with your skite and acting all Scorpio with Saturn there as well. And we have a ring there also. It can symbolize the sun or full moon, or also eternal commitment. So I'm thinking there's this situation. We have a fairy tale, and don't know if it's international, but it's about a fox that couldn't reach the berries in a tree at winter. It's a certain tree. It calls rönnbär in Swedish. It's red berries, and they are hanging in clusters like this in the trees at winter. So it's very good food for the birds when it's really cold winters. And in this fairy tale, the fox wanted those berries, but they couldn't reach to them. So when a bird asked them about this, if they didn't want those berries, or maybe they made them like teasing them about not being able to reach them, the fox said, "Well, I don't want them." So in Sweden we have this saying. The fox said that the berries was tasting sour. So we say sour, like I'll see here if we can translate this in a good way. Sour, says the fox about the berries. So it's like when you want something, you really want it, but you don't think you can reach it. So you say that, well, I don't want it, I don't care, and you kind of lie to yourself and others. So I'm thinking you're sacrificing situations here because it's the only way for you to. Because you can't really get what you want from others, so you need to harbor it in yourself. You need to find like your own source of food. It's like you feel not very well taken care of. You feel like you are being deprived of necessary things that you need to survive, and you kind of survive on your own resources here. The high priestess, she's the one that can go through the desert like a camel, because she has so much inner resources in this beautiful connection with the divine. And here we see also your worldly resources you are keeping for yourself, and it's number 4. And then we have 13, that's death. And so 13, death, 22, the fool, and 4, the emperor. They are all connected. It's different phases of the divine masculinity. And here you're preserving yourself. You're not giving of yourself because there's no one giving to you. So you have come to a situation where you're almost like a little bit of a ghost in this world, because there's only you. And it's all right, because this was the experience that you were supposed to do here on earth. It's like Hans Wilhelm, a very beautiful spiritual teacher, is talking about aloneness in one of his videos, and he's saying that waking up in a human body, it's like going to college. You're not supposed to be in unconditional love and in this family, this soul tribe anymore. You're supposed to do it all alone. So you're not doing it wrong here. I'm just trying to explain your mindset, that if you can't get it, then you will live without it, and you just sacrifice the idea of it. And other people that maybe you had hope that they would give this to you, but they didn't, so it's a sacrifice there too. So you're becoming very self-reliant, taking very good care of yourself. But here comes the teaser. It's a 6 of Cups. So you feel nostalgic about something in your past that you probably have. You have tried to separate from this. You have tried to cut it out from your life. You have tried to forget these sour berries. You really wanted them, but you pretend that they were awful. They might have been a little bit awful as well, but it was... Anyway, it was it was a situation that made you felt you were on the brink of happiness there. It was almost like you got what you needed, but not really. So you sacrificed the situation, but the situation is still with you in spirit, we can say. So you remember, you are nostalgic about this, and maybe you don't tell anyone because, yes, this is the sour berries. So you can't reach them. So what's the point of telling people that you want this? And here we have an 8 of Wands. So it might be that there has come back some situation from the past. It might have been a Scorpio, a person, maybe a Pisces or an earth sign person that has come, or maybe fire as well. This is Sagittarius, Mercury. We see here this raven. Raven is usually, it's like a messenger of death, but it's messenger of transformation too. You see the star. So there's a key here. There's something significant here, saying that there's coming back a person from the past that you might have cut out from your life, but they come with an important message. Okay, it might be your restart, like you need to do this with relationships all over. Now you have found yourself and you love yourself, but you still need to figure out this with how to make the relationships work in your life. So there's a new round, it's coming, and you both want it, you have hope for it, but you also wish that you could have just forgotten about it. I think if you would have been able to take like a forgetfulness pill, you would have, but here it comes, and it's an opportunity for you to bleed again, probably. So you don't want it. That's why you're trying to sacrifice this situation. We see this person being almost ready to sacrifice also those last chandeliers here. Well, chalices, not chandeliers, that's candles. It's a lamp. Sorry. Anyway, the same coat, but different ways of, or the same way. Something cooking here as well. A lot of skulls. So... and there's a lot of relationships that you have cut out of your life, but somehow they can still make you bleed. So what's about that? That's your next assignment. 5 of Cups, 6 of Cups. You need to work on this. You can't avoid it. Even if it's like you want it, but you feel like heaven is preventing you from getting it. It's like you just are supposed to sniff on happiness and not really having it. So what's the use? Okay, so you can at least you can play dead. Then it's better. You feel that it's better if you can just play dead and not wanting it. But the want comes back, so probably the difficult situation will come back and dangling like before your eyes here as a carrot, telling you that you can have it all, and you don't know if you want to take a jump for it, like with the Fool, and you know, invest in it and see if it actually can become to something real, or if you just are going to continue living your life like a camel in the desert and taking care of yourself. And here we have the Devil underneath the High Priestess. So this is the things that's still unsorted. This is still the dusty things you still have in your basement. Childhood wounds, probably, like not with your self-love anymore, because I think you love yourself just fine. It's more with this how to deal with other people, and also those chains, like you have karma chains or spiritual bonds with people that just don't go away. And why they don't go away is because you still have something to learn from them. They still carry this key to your relationship's shadow, like why the relationship isn't working. So you're not supposed to forget about them. You're not supposed to move on. You're supposed to still want to fix it, because that's the ignition that will actually make you win this game or conquer this mission. And here we have the wheel, so it's here we go again kind of situation. It's another roundabout, and it's like the divine has put out a drama for you, meeting the devil all over again, your shadow, probably in form and shape and form of a person. As I said, might be Pisces, also Capricorn here, Scorpio there. Okay, and here we have Page of Pentacles, so a new beginning. So after death, there's a new beginning. Every time we have sacrificed something, we give space for something new. So it might be that this is like an XX or coming back, or it might be that it's just a repetition of a situation. But it's the key here is to still be your natural self also in this situation. You have learned to embrace yourself and love yourself and everything about you. Now you need to learn to love and embrace yourself also when you are together with other people. So that's kind of making the mission more, it's more severity, it's a new difficult level on this. So death and a rebirth there. And here we have Judgment, and comes underneath Six of Cups. So it seems like an old situation will be revived. Something is coming back from the past. And you need to have, it's only through first-hand experience you will be able to do this. So you need to, you have gone back and you know, you have understood that you need to love and align and cherish yourself. Now you also need to work on these situations in the past with first-hand experience. You need to experience it. You can't just make theories about it and yes, if I were in that situation again, I would act like this. You actually need to prove it. Okay, so you're going to have first-hand experience of this. And we have a full moon there and new moon there. So in Scorpio, death, full moon, it might be the full moon in Leo with a lunar eclipse, and then we will have a new moon somewhere in the middle of February. So there comes this new energy, and it's the Nine of Swords. So it's back to like this situation when you can't reach those berries, and before you count them out and decide that they were sour anyway, you need to stay with this. I want this. I want to be fed. I want to have my needs met. I want to be in happy situations. I don't want to endure my life like a camel in the desert. So this is what you need to acknowledge to yourself. This is what you need to see. The sun, the sun's rays, the star here, and the light being put to these swords, like difficult situation where you have been hurt in the past. And you can see this person is sitting with the back to the sun, so this making a big shadow in front of them. So it's really you excavating this shadow, this situation. So you still want those berries, and they are still like unreachable, and they are still not tasting very good when you actually get them. So all the obstacles are still there. You just have new tools to take yourself through this, and the new tools is your self-alignment and this new foundation that you accept yourself no matter what. So you won't sell yourself off in these new testing times. Okay, you will actually figure out from the bottom up what's going on. Okay, why doesn't this person work together with me? Why is they not, if they want to be with me, why are they not showing love or fulfilling my needs? You probably need to communicate a lot about what you feel, and try to figure out what the other person feel. And yes, the Five of Cups and Nine of Swords. So it's going to hurt a great deal, like trial by fire. But this is not something you can skip. Well, you can use your free will to delay it and to, you know, continue living in the desert and continue saying that the berries are sour and you don't want them. But it's still calling for you. This situation is still calling for you. Please heal me. So it's like you are an adult now on the side of your inner child, and now you're going through everything together with the inner child, so you can be a support for yourself and your inner child, instead of just being like totally abandoned in the world and not having anything to rely on. So it's better, you are better off this time, but you still need to do this same thing, being faced with all this opposition. Okay. So now that was in the now, this is in the future. So High Priestess, Devil, 10 of Cups. This is the berries. Okay, you still want them. You want to be in this, you long for this unconditional love again, and soul family, and you were actually coming here to earth to make like a heaven on earth. So you are not allowed to give up and think that it's not doable. And you also have this new wonderful resource now. So not only love yourself, start to love also your enemies. Start to try to connect with them. Try to make them see your way. Try to see their way. Learn everything about them. Teach them everything about you. Try to make the connection. Really make a deep dive in trying. Opening up. It's like a knot that's so totally tied, and you need to break it so you can reach the yummy inside and not get a berry but a nut instead. Okay, so I'm probably inspired by the squirrel there. And here we have the King of Wands, so it comes together again. 10 of Cups, King of Wands. King of Wands can be a soulmate. It can also be a fire sign person, or it can be a person having these abilities. They might have been very closed up before, but they're coming. It's a new round here, and they're coming like your soulmate, like a person that could help you through this, be your ring partner, like boxing partner through this. But don't make them an enemy. Even though they have the totally opposite view of this as you need to do it anyway. It's much what I saw in the Capricorn reading. So it can help you to understand this, what you need to do here, how you need to go to the depths of the relationships and make it work from an above perspective. See it from an above perspective, that the person that's in front of you and acting so strange and devilish is actually not your enemy, but it's a person that's wounded just like you. It's just that they are wounded in another place, in the opposite place to you probably. And we see here it comes Aquarius, the Devil, King of Wands. So it might be that you are going to, with your self-love and your adultness that you have found, you're now going to integrate. It's like you're integrating your shadow. So you might be ready to bring the light into the world and help other people to crack the nut open. So even harder assignment there, but it might be like this. So this might either be like a help to you, a person emerging here by divine interference, they might have been very closed off before, but there's some great connection between you two, so you can't let it go. So that might be a help for you, but it might also be that you are going to be this person for others. So you might not get any help at all. That's also a possibility. So you need to see this with very adult eyes and take it like how it comes. And underneath Death, Page of Pentacles, you have Queen of Cups. So again, with this water sign, this is usually Cancer, but now you have both Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer in the same reading. So it might be any of the water signs. And it shows a lot of love and passion here. So either someone is very passionately in love with you, or you are very passionate in love with someone. And it's love it's 10. So it's probably something that has been already. Maybe you are married. Maybe you have, like, as I said, it might be a long lost ex person as well, re-emerging here with a wheel, like coming back around. You have the Judgment as well, resurrecting from the dead. So, and it's a new beginning after death. So you might have tried to burn bridges with some person, but they're still yours, it seems. You're not from the same dress, like it's not the same dressing here. It's fire, water. So you're very much not similar to each other. And that's maybe making the attraction even greater. Yes, but so it might not be like your last person, because when it's the one, it's usually you come with the same dressed, like in the same dressing, 2 fire persons or 2 water persons. But it's just showing that you are very different to one another, and it's very passionate because you need to learn from one another and see each other's shadow. You're marrying your shadow, or you're shuckling up with your shadow. This person's representing your shadow. So while this person is very adult, this person is probably very emotional and might like remember everything of like the bad things that happened in the past, and being very hurt and wounded and dramatic. And so they hold the key to one thing, one part of it, that you need to deep diving in your emotions. This person is holding the other key, that you need to be very adult. And so you need to be both of those things, both enabling your inner child come true, because the Queen of Cups, she has her antenna to the waters, the emotions, is the Page of Cups, the inner child. So she's in tune with that, like a mother is in tune with the child that she's breastfeeding, this kind of connection. So everything the child feels, she will feel. So it's not that she's over emotional, she's very connected with the inner child. And this is the adult person that needs to be the adult for the inner child. So she interprets the signals from the inner child, and this person needs to be the adult and embrace it, not just saying, well, you're over dramatic, or we shouldn't dig into the past or whatever. Say instead, okay, I see that you're very dramatic right now. Tell me what's going on. I will help you. And we can dig deep into the past to figure out what this is. Okay, so that's a better way. And this is how they can team up very wonderfully and teach each other. Like one is teaching the other to connect with the inner child, and this is being taught to be more adult and be more responsible, not just being like a victim. Okay. So next card is the 5 of Wands, and it comes underneath the 6 of Cups and this resurrection thingy, like of this old thing. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be like full-blown conflict because there's fire and water. They are not very compatible, but it's very, very passionate. So it will be like this, and it's, of course, it's the Alchemist card, 14, 1 + 4 is 5. It's when you meet your shadow and your demons dance so well together. I think that's a song. If I find it, I will put it in the description box for you. So your demons is playing so well together, and this dance, and you hurt each other in exact right point. So but start to communicate about this, communicate the pain, tell every step of the way how it's feeling, and help your partner to open up too. It's first when you can open up and really voice what you're feeling that you can start to heal. Feel and heal. I don't know what's going on with me and there's these rhymes, but maybe I have like spirit guides helping you, and that's very into rhymes. So oh, and the 10 of Wands. So it seems like no one will be able to talk. Okay, it's death, judgment, and 10 of Wands. So when you are able to side with yourself, you can voice your concerns in the world. You still have this foundation. You can always go back to that. So if the person is not willing to meet you halfway, you just go back to being very rock solid. But you don't have to. It's like holding your tongue. Things wants to come to you from death and resurrection. So it has died and come back again and wants to come true, and you say, no, I'm not going to tell them how I feel because they might think that I'm over dramatic. Or I won't tell them that I think that they're over dramatic, because then they will get really angry with me. So people are just doing the same thing that hurt you in the first place. You are doing the same, using the same survival skills as you used when you were a little child. I will just endure. I need these people to keep me alive, so I will just endure. I make myself small, or I make myself useful, or I make myself very quiet or very adaptable or whatever. So you're trying that thing again, and it's not going to work because this is how you did it last time, and it has took you to this adult age with all those wounds. So you can't do it in this way this time. You need to start to tell all the time, every time, how it feels, and act maybe upon it if the person isn't ready to communicate. So then you go back to your square one and you say, okay, so I'm ready to work when you are. Call me. So not holding it back. So 10 of cups, 10, it's 10 of water, 10 of fire. So I'm thinking this person is better off because it seems like they have started to love themselves and embrace their heart and also being very adult. But this person still feels like an overdramatic baby and that they want to start conflicts and they don't want to. So they're holding back. So they have a bigger problem, not because they are like a bad person or not equipped. It's just that they are tagging along with the inner baby here. So they are over dramatic. See like how a little baby is. They are crying when they want food, they are crying when they want closeness, they are crying when they want new diapers, and the queen is going to feel all of that, and she holds the key to how to nurture yourself, how to actually get those berries. So you need to side with yourself, even if you're over dramatic and acting like a baby. You still need to tell how it feels. And if the person are not able to be there for you in this situation, you become your own adult and you don't victimize yourself, because it needs to be like a doorway between those two people where they can understand each other. This person might feel, well, there's no problem. We can be happy. We can have everything if you just stop with those things that you're doing, this conflicts, this reminiscing about the past, digging up things. But actually she holds the key to like a part of you that's damaged and lying in the basement somewhere bleeding and no one's taking care of it. So that's why it's crying. So you really need to, it's not all good just because it feels all good for you, because you don't have the connection with the inner child. So that's like when I stop listen to music, I get like this. Everything is fine. Life is like, it's fine. It's just everything is wonderful. Becoming very creative, doing things in scientific ways that's also that will work logically. But the thing is still here. The wound is still there. The inner child is still in the basement bleeding. So these are, it's kind of the, these are the ambulance driver, and this is the one that needs to be helped by an ambulance. So, and this one can't say, well, I'm not hurt, so there's no problem. I won't stop and pick you up because I don't feel the pain. You're an ambulance driver, so you need to pick up wounded people. It's kind of like this, what I see, that even if it doesn't hurt you, it still hurts the other person. So you need to take it seriously. You can't be like, but be like me, I'm all cool. But you don't have the connection. You have lost the connection to this inner child. The Six of Cups here. It's your survival skills that have made you lose the connection here, and this person's unwillingness to communicate what they truly feel is also another block. So you're blocked both here and there. But it can be easily fixed if you either recognize that you have those feelings and you say them even if no one wants to hear, or either you are fine with everything and you realize that you're an ambulance driver. So whichever team you can feel yourself being. Okay, so I will take a card for you, Aquarius, from the Wisdom of the Oracle Divination cards. Milk and honey. So it's the rainbow again. I'm feeling more optimistic about you now. Milk and honey. 51. So it's like going back to a relationship and saying, well, I'm sorry, but can't we just forget about the past and move on? While one person is like totally fine and the other one is lying bleeding on the street. So yes, of course, yes, we can move on. I will try. So 10 of Wands, holding everything together, like shaking, bleeding. It's not a nice sight, so don't do that to each other. Don't put your significant other through that. Even if you don't feel the pain, it doesn't mean that they are all right. The taste of prosperity, opportunities born of authenticity, nurturing abundance, trusting that your needs will be met. So no more sour berries out of reach. You've entered a sweet time in your life, enjoying the land of milk and honey that everyone wants to experience. It's an interlude that feels more languid than ambitious. When all your senses are awake to the unlimited possibilities in the universe. These times are precious and only come when you're in your authentic zone, wearing the world as a loose garment, not wanting, yet able to be nourished in ways both tangible and subtle. Abundance is an energy that you are a living part of. All your needs are being met. You are giving the gift of nourishment in every form. I really love this wisdom of the Oracle Divination cards. I have never seen this card before, and it really wraps up my readings perfectly. So, in relationships, sensuality, connection, and passionate romance between lovers, sweet moments of understanding and love among friends and family are all here for you to savor now. Your heart's calling will be answered. Let your thoughts and feelings be sweet with gratitude, and you will be nourished with the honey of abundance. So, and this is for this part. A nameless unease compels you to turn to pleasure and comfort as a means to escape what's really going on. It works in the moment, but only fleetingly, before the feelings return, and you need to re-up until you're exhausted, feeling worse than before. You may continue struggling, or you may see the light and choose to surrender to spirit. I'm feeling my throat chakra acting up here, so okay, now it's the time for practicing extreme self-care. If you can, do so before you engage in behaviors you'll regret later. You are so loved, so cared for. Feel love and compassion for yourself. Turn your troubles over to the divine for healing. That's all that counts right now. So it's this, you need to acknowledge if you're hurt. You can't just pretend like everything is oopsie daisies because you want this milk and honey thing with this King of Wands situation. You need to feel what you feel and stand like by yourself no matter what. Don't betray yourself in this way by acting like everything is fine when it's not. Just because you want to skip to the happy part and just forget about the wounds. And it's like, yes, we abandon one of our parts in the basement and let them die there. So you need your whole soul. You can't just take bits and part of it that's okay and leave the hurt ones in the ditch. So it's not going to be helpful in the long run. You're still going to find yourself in the same position being hurt, because it's mirroring you being hurt, actually. Princess of Purity leaps across. I have such faith in you that I have placed what appears to be an obstacle in your way. It is actually a stepping stone that will help you rise. If there were no challenges, how would you gain trust and confidence in yourself, in me? Through my grace, I am giving you an invisible boost. You shall leap over this obstacle with such lightness of heart and foot. You shall then believe that anything is possible. It's easy as this. You just acknowledge that you are hurt, and you say to the person that's this milk and honey for you that, well, I love that you are this positive, but I'm still feeling like this. We still need to address those issues. I can't be happy together with you whilst I'm still this wounded. That's a very adult way to deal with this, and to actually make it into your superpower. You're not closing your eyes for the reality. You're working through the reality, and therefore healing. And then both this person and this person is better off, because there's no more like damaged baby in the basement for neither of you. Because this person has it too. It's just that it's mirroring in this person. So because they can't feel it, because they are disconnected, and it's a good thing that you Aquarius have to survival skill, but it's not helping with the healing of the broken heart of this inner child, to pretend that it's not broken and that everything is fine when it's not. If someone is trying to pull you into their drama, you have permission to simply refuse to take it on board. It's not for you. So that is how this person is going to feel. But I don't think it's right for this situation. Have compassion as you set clear boundaries. This is a way to love yourself more. And so if you can be seeking a way through an issue, you are being asked to let go of your plans and open up to divine intercession. Don't worry about controlling the outcome. You accept the way through that will be showing itself to you. It's likely to be the method of sidestepping or leaping over the situation altogether. So I'm thinking that this is what one person is going to be wanting to do, like cut away the drama. They think that the problem is this person. If I'm not with this person, I will live happy and I will have no drama like this. But sadly, they still have the devil in the basement. So the solution is actually the drama. It's here it's like wanting to skip a step, but what they said from the beginning, the obstacle is actually the answer. And when you both together are able to work through this, and this person will start to feel, well, I'm wounded like that too, I just didn't remember. That is when you are going to get this beautiful breakthrough that will make you both feel like you can take on anything. This disconnection though is going to be your pitfall. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing with you, Aquarius. So just because it doesn't hurt doesn't mean that someone is bleeding, okay? Because you have this superpower of disconnecting and making it not your problem. So, and also if someone is doing this to you, remember to stay true to yourself and that what you are feeling is actually correct. So make so much drama you want and need. Just stay true to yourself and don't let anyone drag you down. If they can't comprehend the drama, they can't heal together with you. So then maybe it's better off that they detached and move away from the situation if they are can't man or woman up to this challenge. Okay, so my dear, I hope, my dear Aquarius, I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care, and I welcome you back to the mid-February reading that I will perform in the beginning of February. Thank you for being this patient, watching this far, and take really good care. Okay, bye-bye.